All right, welcome back, COSA 25 folks. Professor Almeida here. Happy Thursday morning, everyone. It's a nice morning to be out. And in this video, I want to talk to you about week 2, which is already open and available. But before I get into that, there are some housekeeping items. And once I'm done recording, I will be in the Canvas live chat. I'm usually there Thursdays, 9 a.m. until noon, but there have been some technical difficulties this morning, especially concerning SimNet. So again, once I'm done with this video, I will see you in the Canvas live chat from 9 to noon for student office hours. It's completely optional, but it's one way for you to connect with me about the course. So before we talk about week 2, I do have some housekeeping items. So without further ado, let's just dive right in here. Now, hopefully you've had a chance to settle into the class. I went over this in the announcement video for your first week. So if you haven't had a chance, go back, watch that video, and get registered with SimNet. And as a matter of fact, I have SimNet open here, and I just want to show you there are three ways to get started with SimNet. The first is to pay for access directly in SimNet. It's about $60 plus tax. If you go to the bookstore and purchase an access card, you can scratch off the card and enter the registration code here. And then the third option, which you don't see here, is the 14-day courtesy access. So if you are unable to make a purchase at this time, you can still sign up for a 14-day courtesy access, which gives you enough time to work on your assignments for the first 2 weeks. Okay, so again, make sure that you get settled in as soon as possible, especially since you have an assignment due on Monday. This is Access Chapter 1. This is the sim book or training sim on creating a database and tables. And as a matter of fact, I have the assignment open here. You can see I'm about 5% of the way through. And again, you're only responsible for the tasks where you see something like this. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and open one of them here just to show you. So this is what the sim book looks like, and you can read, of course, but you learn by doing. And you'll see here's one of the tasks, and you can see you have show me, guide me, and let me try. To get points, you need to complete let me try. So here, create a new blank database named PPA1-2. And you know what, let's go ahead and do that. If you get stuck, by the way, you can go to show me where you can sit back and watch, or you can go to guide me where you get the hands-on step-by-step. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, A1-2, we'll click create, and I'll go ahead and close this. And let me close out of this real quick just to show you again. You can see I'm now 10% of the way through. I've done 1 out of 3 tasks. And your goal here is to fill this progress meter all the way to 100%. By the way, don't check your Canvas gradebook until you actually finish your training sim. Now, with SimNet, your training sim scores sync automatically. And if I were a student and I were to go look at my Canvas gradebook right now, I would see that 10% completion, and I would think that I'm failing the course. So again, don't look at your gradebook until you actually finish your training. Okay, so this is the training sim. You want to make sure that you finish all 20 tasks. It is a participation requirement for everyone in the course. Even if you've added the course late, you are responsible for getting this training sim turned in on time. That way I know that you've registered with SimNet and that you really want to be in the class. I do have an active wait list at the moment, and yesterday I did send out messages through the Canvas inbox to those folks who have had no activity based on the analytics I have access to. So if you haven't had activity, hopefully you see this video and hopefully you get started right away. If you don't turn in this training sim on time, regardless of the reason, I will be dropping you from the class so that I can make room for others on the wait list. Okay, there are people who want to get in. There have been folks emailing me, asking me for permission numbers. So let's make sure that we get this training sim turned in on time. Now, you also have this guided project to work on. That's not due until October 6th, but even after the training sim, I will continue to watch for participation. Okay, you need to make sure that you're also turning in the projects, and I've provided a walkthrough video on how to do guided project 1-2. Now, if you're working from home, you do need to have Microsoft Access installed on your system. And the easiest way to do that is to visit office.com or click on Microsoft 365 through your Viking portal. Remember that it's your student ID at lbcc.edu, as if it were an email address. And right here in the Microsoft 365 dashboard, you'll see Install and More, Install Microsoft 365 apps, and then from there, you just choose Install Office and then follow the prompts. Now, if you need to get support on installing Microsoft 365, we do have the Student Technology Help Desk. Here are their hours. And again, you don't want to wait until it's too late to get help. Speaking of getting support, you can also come to campus, visit the COS computer labs. You can also reach out to our COS instructional assistants, and they will also be able to provide some guidance. All right, so on that note, week 2, again, it's already open and available. We're still sticking with chapter 1 for now, but you'll see that you have 2 independent projects to work on. Basically, the bottom line here is that you want to finish guided project 1-2, take the hints that they give you, write them down or make a note of them somewhere, because you will need those hints in order to complete 1-4 and 1-5. Now, common things that you want to watch out for when you are working on the independent projects. Number 1, make sure you know where you're saving your projects. Okay, you do get 3 attempts at each project, and your final score is the highest of the 3. So double check, make sure you know where you're saving your project to. Pay attention to your typing. Typos, especially when you are creating fields, they can be very costly, okay? And you don't want to carelessly lose points over little things like typos, okay? So go through the steps carefully and methodically, and I'm sure that some of you have figured out by now that Access can be pretty unforgiving, okay? So you want to carefully and methodically go through the steps, and again, make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to work on the assignments. So your Chapter 1 training sim, your sim book, that is due on Monday the 30th. And then your 3 projects, your guided project and your 2 independent projects for Chapter 1, they will be due on Sunday, October 6th. And as I mentioned, I'm going to continue to watch for participation. And if you don't turn in any of the projects, don't be surprised if you're dropped from the class. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're not just working on the sim book, but you're also working on the projects, which do require Microsoft Access. And again, if you don't have access to Access, or if you don't have access to a Windows PC, please make the appropriate arrangements while you still can. And on that note, have a good rest of your week. Take care of yourselves out there, and I will see you in the Canvas live chat. Thanks for watching.